Hello students. In our last video we have mentioned about non-collusive oligopoly models and we have explained Cournot model of duopoly or oligopoly. In this video we are going to explain about kinked demand curve model of oligopoly. This kinked demand curve model of oligopoly was developed independently by Paul M. Sweezy in his work Demand Under Conditions of Oligopoly, which was published in the Journal of Political Economy in 1939, and by Hall and Hitch in Britain through their work Price Theory and Business Behavior, which was published in Oxford University Papers in the same year 1939. These two works were independently published. These models explains the price rigidity in the oligopoly market, especially when there is product differentiation. Due to various reasons, a firm normally want to maintain a fixed price. There are various reasons. These reasons include the objective of preventing the entry of new firms. Maintaining a fixed price will be convenient for the regular buyers. A higher price sometimes lead to disagreement among buyers. In some situation, if a firm increases price drastically, it leads to the intervention by the state or government. In some situation, the existing price may be as a result of bargaining or some formal agreements between firms. And because of all these reasons, the price of oligopoly market may be rigid. Paul M. Sweezy used kinked demand curve to explain this price rigidity. Initially, we can move to the assumptions made by Sweezy. There are only few assumptions. The first one is the existence of small number of firms. Second one, there may be product differentiation or may be the absence of it. There may or may not have product differentiation. Third assumption is more important. The behavior of the rival firms to the price variation by one firm is asymmetrical, is not symmetrical, it is asymmetrical, not uniform. There is no symmetry in the behavior of the different firms. According to Sweezy model, there is a prevailing price in the market at present. There are two possibilities. First thing is increase in price of the product than at the present, or decrease in price of the product. These are the two possibilities in prices. Suppose if a firm increases price, that means if a firm is going to increase price of their product, then other firms will not increase price. Therefore, if a firm only increases price and others not increases their price, the price increased firm will lose their customers. There will be reduction in the number of customers. Therefore, the price increased firm will have to suffer losses due to the reduction in number of customers. Therefore, firm will have no tendency to increase price. In the same manner, the other possibility is a decrease in price of the product by a firm. Suppose if a firm decreases price of the product, other firms also will decrease the price. If everybody is decreasing price, it will lead to less gain. There will be no much gain due to reduction in price. Therefore, if a firm increases price, there will be not much profit. That means there is a reduction in customers. If there is decreases price, there is not much gain from price reduction. Therefore, a firm is not having tendency either to increase price or to decrease price. Firm will keep the price constant. This is the reason for having price rigidity in kinked demand curve analysis. This behavior of the producers is considered in the third assumption of asymmetric behavior of firms. One more point to be noted here is that if the firm increases price, there will be reduction in customers. That means when price increases, number of customers decreases, there is decrease in demand. That means the demand curve is elastic in case of increase in price. But at the same time, when there is a reduction in price, there is no much gain. That means demand is not much increased. Therefore, here the demand curve is less elastic. In the case of price increase, we will be having a more elastic demand portion, and in the case of price decrease, there is less elastic demand portion. By joining these two portions, more elastic and less elastic portion, we can derive a kinked demand curve. To show the kinked demand curve, we have taken x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis quantity and on y-axis price. We have already said that the upper portion of the demand curve is more elastic. Therefore, this is the upper portion of the demand curve, and we can draw a lower portion with less elasticity, and this is the basic demand curve in the market. The price of the commodity is fixed at point P, that is at the point of kink, and there will be OR price charged by the firm. The quantity corresponding to OR price is OM. Now, suppose if a firm increases price, that means price increases a little, but the quantity demanded decreases drastically from OM to OM0. If price increases a little, there is drastic change in demand. But at the same time, when price decreases a little, there is only a little change in demand or a minute change in demand. Demand increases from OM to OM1. A change in price, increase in price is followed by drastic decrease in demand, and a decrease in price is followed by smaller increase in demand. This is why this demand curve is having a kink at point P. And due to the upper elastic portion and lower less elastic portion, a firm will not have a tendency to change price from OP. Therefore, price of the commodity will be rigid at point R. Now we need to draw the MR curve corresponding to this AR curve. We know that the slope of MR curve is based on the slope of this demand curve. Here the demand curve is having different levels of slope at different stages. Above P it is more elastic and below P it is less elastic. Therefore, MR curve corresponding to this demand curve will have a discontinuous range. It can be plotted as MR curve is having a discontinuity range, and this is the MR curve. Here the area in between S and S1 is the discontinuous range of MR curve. This discontinuity range is the result of the difference between elasticity in the upper portion of P and lower portion of P of the demand curve. Here Paul M. Sweezy argued that this discontinuity range is corresponding to the kink. Sweezy also argued that the marginal cost curve is passing through this discontinuous range. Therefore, MCMR equilibrium is identified at the point of discontinuity, at the range of discontinuity, and price and quantity will be fixed corresponding to the kink. The equilibrium condition developed by Paul M. Sweezy can be explained with the help of the following diagram. As per the previous condition, we can have the x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we are representing quantity, and on y-axis we are representing price of the commodity. We can have a kinked demand curve D, and the kink is at point P, and price of the commodity is normally fixed at point P, where the economy is charging or producer is charging OR price. Now we are identifying an MR curve with a discontinuity range. This is the MR curve with a discontinuity. Here the MC curve passes through this discontinuity range. This is the MC curve, and the firm is producing OQ quantity of the commodity. Since the MC curve passes through this discontinuity range S1, a slight change in marginal cost will not affect price or quantity of the commodity. Suppose if there is an increase in cost of the firm, in such a situation MC curve shift upwards to MC1, but there is no change in quantity or output. Similarly, if there is a decrease in cost condition, this cost curve will be shifted backward, that is MC2 is the new cost curve. This also leads to no change in quantity. Through this, Paul M. Sweezy argued that a slight variation in cost condition will not affect equilibrium quantity or equilibrium price. Therefore, price will be rigid always. Sweezy also argued that even if there are changes in demand or even if there are changes in revenue conditions, the price rigidity will exist. The changes in demand and constancy of price is explained with the help of the following diagram. To draw different quantities are sold at same price, we need to draw two equilibrium points. Initially on x-axis we have taken quantity, and on y-axis we have considered price and cost. Initially at the first stage we are having a demand curve D. Corresponding to this demand curve there is an MR curve, that is MR curve, and we have identified quantity and price as OQ quantity and OR price of the commodity. We know that there is a discontinuous range to MR, and MC curve normally passes through this discontinuity range. That will be plotted later. Now there is a change in demand happens. The demand increases from OQ to OQ1. Corresponding to this increase in demand, the demand curve also shifted, but the kink remains at the original price. This is the new demand curve D1, and corresponding to this demand curve we can draw an MR curve. This is MR1 curve, but here also price of the commodity remains unchanged as OR. Now the discontinuity range of MR curve 1, MR is equal to S1, S2, and that of MR1 is S3, S4. Price at the initial condition of demand is QP, which is equal to OR, and price at the second stage is Q1 P1, which is also equal to OR. Therefore, price at the initial stage is OR, that is equal to QP, and at the second stage that is equal to Q1 P1. Therefore, Q1 P1 is equal to QP is equal to OR. It shows that price remains unchanged at all levels of demand. In order to complete this diagram, we need to identify the basic equilibrium points. For the same, we need to draw MC curve. We know that MC curve is passing through this discontinuity range like this. This is the MC curve. Here we have said that according to Paul M. Sweezy, price will be rigid if there are variation in cost and demand conditions, cost and revenue conditions. It does not mean that price is always rigid. There are situations in which price may vary. Suppose if there is drastic change in cost conditions and one of the firm increases price, others also will follow. Similarly, if there is a drastic decrease in price, then if a firm changes or decreases price, others also will follow. Similarly, if there are drastic increase in demand or drastic decrease in demand, then price of the commodity will be altered. One more point to be noted is that the length of the discontinuity range depends upon the difference in elasticity of upper portion and lower portion of a kinked demand curve. Consider this diagram. The difference in elasticity of upper portion and lower portion is more in segment A. That means there is heavy kink in case of demand curve D. Therefore, the length of this discontinuity range is very much. The length is more. But here in segment B, the kink, the difference between elasticity of upper portion and lower portion is less. The difference in elasticity is less, and therefore the length of the kink is also very less. There is only a small discontinuous portion. Therefore, CC argued that the discontinuous range of MR depends upon the difference in elasticity of upper portion and lower portion. If the difference is more, there will be lengthy discontinuous range. If the difference is less, there will be only a small discontinuous range. Now we are going to explain Hall and Hitch version of kinked demand curve. Hall and Hitch version of kinked demand curve is superior to that of Sweezy's version. Paul M. Sweezy failed to explain how the price is determined. It simply explained the rigidity of the price. But Hall and Hitch introduced markup rule of price determination. According to Hall and Hitch, price is fixed at a point where average cost is equal to average revenue. Here, full cost is covered at the price. This is also known as full cost pricing principle. According to Hall and Hitch, the rigid price must cover the full cost of production. Hitch also argued that so long as the cost remains constant, the price also will be rigid. The price rigidity of Hall and Hitch can be explained with the help of this diagram. On x-axis we have taken quantity and on y-axis we have taken price of the commodity. We have a kink normally. The demand curve is D1. We have a kink at point and average cost is tangent to the point of kink. The price of the commodity is OR and quantity produced is OQ. Price of the commodity may be QP. OR or QP is the price of the commodity. This price is fixed at a point where average cost is equal to average revenue. Here we have drawn the average cost, which is tangent to the average revenue curve at the point of kink. Since full cost is covered, price of the commodity will be constant always if there is no change in cost. Now we are looking into the major criticisms of kinked demand curve analysis. First and most important criticism is that it explains only price rigidity, not the process of price determination. Rigidity of prevailing price is explained, but the process of price determination is neglected. Second criticism is that this theory failed to explain the position of the kink. This theory is not able to explain where will be the point of kink on the demand curve. At what price the kink will be settled. That is not explained. Another criticism is that this theory neglected The price leadership or cartel. Price leadership and cartels are the collusive form of oligopoly. Here, this kinked demand curve analysis failed to explain the conditions of price leadership and cartel in oligopoly market. Another criticism is that this theory failed to explain the changes in demand at the time of boom or depression. Uncertainty during boom and depression is the main point related with market price fixation, and this is not properly explained by this theory. Another criticism against kinked demand curve analysis is that in the real world there is no position of kink. There is conflicting empirical evidences. The practical evidences are conflicting with the theory. Even though there are these criticisms, the kinked demand curve analysis is considered as one of the best theory to explain price rigidity. In our next video, we will be explaining cartel and price leadership. Thank you.